Hey, it's John, and this is a test of the Canon RF 14-35 f4L IS USM Lens and the Canon RF 16-28 f2.8 IS STM Lens. Both of these lenses need in-camera corrections for video, so this first clip is just looking at different focal lengths with the 14-35 against the building, and now we're doing the same with the 16-28. Things look pretty similar in these two tests, so that's great. Where we're going to see a difference is in the next test, where I am sort of walking away and then coming back towards the camera. The f14-35 f4L looks great. Things are fairly smooth. I'm not so worried about if it loses focus for a second because I did put it on face priority, so when I turn away, it's kind of locking focus at that point until I turn back. What's interesting is in the comparison test with the 16-28, what you'll see is as I walk away and come back, there is pretty significant focus breathing. And if your subject were close to the lens and moving about and you're on AF, that could be an issue. The other thing to note is that the 16-28 has a bit of flare that is changing shape as the focus changes, which is not present on the 14-35 lens. The next test, I am panning left and right with the sun in the frame, so it's a great pinpoint source. Everything looks good. We're trying this at 16, 20, 24, and 28 millimeters. But what's interesting, again in comparison, is the next test with the 16-28 at the same focal lengths. And what you'll see is that as the sun goes to the left side of the frame, boom, we get a pretty big flare all across the frame, not unlike what you might get with an anamorphic lens. So that's a big difference between the two. This next test is also looking at flare. Now I've got the camera handheld with Lens IS on, and I'm just bouncing left and right, looking at the sun through the trees. What you're going to see in this comparison is that, again, the 16-28 tends to show more flare. There's also one of those large purple internal reflections that pops up for a second. Next up is a motion test where I walk forward. You're seeing two frames. One is with the Lens IS on, the other has both the Lens IS and the camera's digital image stabilization turned on. Looking at these tests, I do find the stabilization on the 14-35 to be a bit smoother than that of the 16-28. To sum up, we are seeing a difference between these two lenses when it comes to focus breathing, flare, and motion. And it should be noted that there are physical differences. The 14-35 has both a zoom ring, a focus ring, and the accessory ring. The 16-28 only has a zoom ring and an accessory ring. Plus, the build quality of the 14-35 is what befits an L quality lens from Canon. These lenses are close in price. There's only about a $200 difference between them. You'll have to decide if the faster f2.8 on the 16-28 fits your needs, or if you prefer the other qualities inherent in the 14-35. Thanks.